Hey Ensenada travelers and cruisers. I want to give you the lowdown, the insider information on all the ATV and UTV options in Ensenada and the surrounding area, including Valle de Guadalupe, a little bit north, and down to the Bufadora. This is Jesse in Ensenada, and I want to cover these topics based on my 15 years of living here and working with travelers for Ensenada Massage and Ensenada Excursions and Tours. I'm going to cover all the options, not just the ones that we send folks to. So first is to note that this is Lola. She's going to help me out. The first thing to note is that Ensenada has some pretty good options, especially if you're on a cruise compared to Cabo and Catalina. There's more options in terms of ages and routes here, particularly compared to Catalina as part of California. The general areas are south of Ensenada in the Bufadora area, leaving from in town, the Valle de Guadalupe, and a little bit north there, Primo Tapia, there's a little niche option as well. So in Ensenada, south of town, you get options for Ocean View ATV and Las Cañadas. Ocean View ATV, you get to go on a kind of fire road, some cliffs overlooking the ocean. It's really quite nice, very much in the wilderness. And there you're going to have options for ATVs, singles and doubles, and UTVs. That one is near the Bufadora. It's on a kind of a beach cliff area out there. And it's run by a local guy that is really amazing. He's got so many years of experience. Las Cañadas is further south of the Bufador, not on the peninsula. Big adventure park, canopy tour, zip line, and horseback, and ATV. They got a huge area, very well maintained mountains, and it's basically a dirt track with some nice views, not the ocean. So out there it's ATV options, no UTVs. The advantage there is that you can combine other things if you're trying to do too many things in one day. But you can also do that with the Ocean View ATV. The place has been in business for a long time. Huge adventure park. The ATV operation just changed recently, about a year or so ago. And that's the dirt track off-road option. Now, in Ensenada, there are several options. You could just rent an ATV and ride on the street. I don't recommend that, since riding on the street is generally not safe, and since you're sharing it with cars, bikes, dogs crossing the street. And as someone who lives in Ensenada, it's not something that is great to have happening. It's very stressful, both as an ATV driver and a car driver, to have folks doing that all over the streets without real good direction. There are a couple of tours that leave from town. There is a kind of a hill country tour that I've seen, and an option that is very adventurous, and that is the ATV to the hot springs. And here you also have a UTV option. So this one is pretty long. Now the ones out south of town are about an hour. You could pay extra, but the basic package is an hour for those. In town, the hot springs does take about 3 to 4 hours from beginning to end. And that's with a bunch of time on the ATV, like up to 2.5 hours. You're going to stop at some hot springs, Rancho San Carlos. You're going to go through some streams, probably 3 or 4 streams in the summer, 5 to 6 in the winter, like December through February, March, when there's more rain. And that's a long ride. UTV and ATV options there. Out in the Valle de Guadalupe, if you're going out to the wine country or coming down from San Diego for a long weekend, or even doing a one-day tour from Southern California with Baja Tours and Transport, one of our sister companies, or just your own long, early drive for a super long day. There are good options for kind of wine country ATV. So you can go through some dirt roads through the vineyards and include a tasting. Now you can do a tasting right after it at a separate place, or a tasting during the ride as a package. None of those operators that I've mentioned so far offer cruise port pickup that I'm aware of. So that's something that we help out with and coordinate for all the folks who are coming off the cruise ship. And north of town, there is also another option by Primo Tapia, and that is going to be basically sand dunes ATV. Now, I stopped by, took a test ride. It was pretty cool. This big sand dunes right on the ocean. You'll see it if you drive down on the toll road. However, it was super windy, and those machines that I experienced were a little bit on the more used side. It's kind of a pop-up location. They haul in the ATVs and out every day. However, it's the only one that I've seen that's on the sand dunes. I'm not an expert on Rosarito ATV, so I'm going to leave that for a different video or somebody else to give comments on. Hey, I've been in Ensenada 15 years, bumping around here, having fun. I like it here, and the Valle. So that option is helpful if you're going to go to Puerto Nuevo with a private driver or transportation, or if you just want to do that too. You can do a private driver, set it up, but it's pretty far from the cruise port, probably like 50 minutes. So I want to cover a couple other things quick. Okay, safety and ages, always a big concern. So if you book through the cruise ship, some of the restrictions, of course, are on ages, liability. They're not very low. I think it's 18 to drive. So booking with a local company, they give you more flexibility. 16, and with our setup, it's 15 years old to drive. So that means that if you're 15 years or older, you can drive the vehicles. Otherwise, you got to be a passenger. That's great. The ATVs, you can fit two, side, front and back. Just to clarify, ATVs are sit behind, UTVs are sit beside. Of course, Razor is the most famous brand, I think, for UTVs, so people often say that, just like people say Kleenex for tissues. Same thing. So the options with family is if you have kids under 15, they got to be passengers. Adults can be passengers too, of course. If you got more than one passenger per driver, then you're going to need a UTV, and those are available on the Ocean View route and some of the Hot Springs ATV availability as well. I haven't seen UTVs currently available in the Valle, those off-road ATV experiences, and I didn't see any at the Primo Tapia Sand Dunes ATV. In terms of safety stuff, yeah, they give you helmets. So you don't got to worry about that. At least the Ocean View places, the places we go, everyone that I've seen gives you a helmet. Goggles are offered at the Ocean View and Las Cañadas, and they are also offered, I believe, in the Valle. Yeah, the Valle options that we know of and use, and leaving from town. That's helpful because in the summer it does get dusty, so that's the biggest thing, dust. Handkerchiefs, recommendable, but not provided with most packages. You can buy one in a lot of places for $3, but in the summertime he's a little dusty, so you're kind of eating some dirt. But that's part of the adventure, right? They give you a fair amount of freedom. The ATVs do go fast. They have governors, so nobody's going too crazy. And the options that I'm discussing, at least, there's always a guide, so nobody's going too wild into nature reserves or these kind of things. But it is a good adventure. The most controlled one is probably Las Cañadas because it's just so flat and it's such a track that everyone just goes around and around. And then the Ocean View is also really safe, but a little bit better views and a little bit freer in terms of what folks can do and go. In terms of insurance, yeah, all of them going to make you fill out some liability forms. I do understand that travel insurance, if that's important to you, doesn't cover kids under, they don't have a driver's license, but locally, sign liability forms, and if you book with a company that insures you during the transportation, you're covered. I really haven't heard of any major accidents, a few minor scrapes over the 15 years we've been doing this. In terms of liability for the machines, I also haven't heard of really any extreme stories of any clients being held responsible. When people have an accident, I've heard of paying a little bit for a busted up plastic fender when it's pretty irresponsible. And the places will ask for an ID to hold while you're driving the vehicle. Of course, this is just so you don't drive away with it, and they have some kind of connection with you as somebody who's riding around their vehicle worth many hundreds of dollars. But really, I can't think of more than really two minor scrapes and bruises over the years we've been doing this, so really recommendable. And of course, the UTVs, that gives you a lot of stability, especially if you have anybody who's doesn't want all the adrenaline. The UTVs, I will comment, are more expensive. Those vehicles, just because to have them, keep them up. So you're going to run into some higher pricing there, but it works if you got family and things. Sharing the ATV is going to usually be the most cost effective. You get small discounts at different places, particularly Ocean View. I think out in the Valle, there's not too much of a discount, but it makes it a little bit easier if you're budget conscious. So yeah, if you got a bunch of kids or folks that don't really want to do their own ATV, the UTV is the way to go. Now that can fit 4 or 2 people. The 2 people UTVs, those are going to be the most expensive because you only have 2 people sharing the cost. However, you get to sit by each other. So it's a great adventure. Actually, they've never done it before. The 4-seater, you can fit 3 passengers. You don't have to fill up all 3, but of course it gets more expensive where there's 2 or 3 in a 4-seater UTV or Razor. That's the other name. Now in terms of the vehicle sizes, they vary by operator. I really haven't heard a lot of any complaints about the ATV was too weak. So I can get specifics if someone wants to ask me on different vehicle sizes at places, but everyone seems to have a great time. I will say the UTVs, the ones that I've seen around, there are a couple of Razors, but they're, it's a branded kind of thing, so it's super expensive for the owner-operator to have, and Pioneers around as well, especially on the Ocean View route. But the Ocean View and leaving from downtown, they do have Razor options if that's the experience you want to have. Finally, quickly, booking. Yeah, you can do some of this through. I want to say, beach ATV, I've never seen it. I did see a few of them like 10 years ago, when I was just around, going on all my tourism activities. But Ensenada said no, and even though I see advertisements and pictures, I haven't seen any operators on the beach. Absolutely not in Playa Hermosa, close to the city. And as far as I know, out by the Bufador, where there's amazing beaches more remote, that's also not really a welcome route. Folks who live there just don't get excited about it. So if sand's important, I guess you got to do the sand dunes. I will mention there too, those sand dune vehicles, some of them do have the specialized flat tires that make managing driving around the sand dunes a little bit better, since the traction has an effect with the sand. Booking, some of it you can do through the cruise ship quickly. They do have higher age limits, so it's not as flexible. Booking directly with a local company like ours is going to give you more flexibility. Viability in terms of age. Viator, Get Your Guide. I've seen those products bouncing around. I don't know all the details there. They generally add a commission that's pretty heavy to the local operators as well. You want to look for, of course, reviews for anything you do. Cruise ship pickup, back to ship guarantee if you're on a cruise ship. And yeah, that covers like my lowdown, all the stuff I know about doing ATVs and enjoying it here. Once again, I am Jesse in Ensenada. We're on Ensenada Excursion Tours, Ensenada Massage. And this was Lola, for all you dog lovers. She's kind of our mascot. So, looks like my mic just fell off, so thanks so much. And yeah, leave me any questions in the comments, and I'll be sure to respond to them.